Hi, this is Kevin. Welcome to the tutorial for exercise 3 in the coding assignment for Zelle 3rd edition chapter 6 in my IS430 course. I'm recording this in the spring of 2022. So in this one, we're going to we're going to be working on the third of these use cases that I have identified for functions, the one that I call parameterized tools. Okay, and I just want to point out that I'm not saying that there are only 4 use cases for functions. If you got people talking, they could come up with 50. Okay, so there's a lot, okay? But there are 4 primary ones that we want to deal with in the course right now. I'm also not saying that they don't overlap with each other, okay? And I've offered these as a way of getting your attention. When you look at code, you might say, oh, yeah, parameterized tools. I could do that kind of a refactoring, okay? That's why I've named them, okay? So here, um, I've got parameterized tools. Let's open that. Okay, and if you remember from the lecture, this is a kind of a rough text analytics program that counts characters in the words within a string, and it counts vowels and consonants and spaces and punctuation characters. Okay, so we're going to just to be working like our assignment, we're going to take the program that we've been given and we're going to highlight it and we're going to rename it. So we're going to refactor, rename it, and we're going to put the word refactored on the end. Not because we would do that in the real world in our day job, but it's just the convention of this assignment. Okay? Okay, so we've done that, and you'll notice here up on the tab, it has changed the name of the file that we're editing. All right, so I've got to say that this use case is maybe a little bit harder to recognize than the ones that we've had before. Okay, I tell you why. This code that we have here is not bad code, right? It's just a lost opportunity. Okay, so the code is pretty tight code. If you look at each of these sections, right, we're we're uh, we're setting the accumulator of the count to 0. We are going to iterate over the characters in the string that holds the characters that we're looking for. Within the body, we are incrementing or bumping up. We are accumulating the count of the characters that we're looking for that we found. And then we're printing a message. Now, when you look at this, the first thing that probably occurs to you is there are 4 of these. So you may say to yourself, well, that makes this kind of too big, or that makes this repetitive code. Okay, and it does kind of make it repetitive code. But I'm going to say now, and I'll tell you later, I would create one of these parameterized tools even if I was doing this only once. Okay, when I'm doing it 4 times, the use case for doing it is, the argument for doing it is really high. But the kind of tool I'm going to create is going to be useful even if I only do it 1 time, because it's really going to simplify my code. Okay? So let's look what we want to do. Do we want all of this to be extracted into a method. I'm going to say I don't want that, okay? Because I don't want to do the printing in the code, okay? The reason I don't is I print a different thing each time. So I'm going to say I just want the counting to be in this function that we create as a little tool. Okay, so I want to do all of that. Okay, let's do this. Oh, and the other thing I'm doing is I am shifting this thing up here. Okay, this so I might want to put that in the tool too. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, well let's just take this first part where we're doing the counting. Let's right click, refactor, extract method. Okay, now we've got some interesting things. Okay, we need a name for this. Okay, it says we need to pass in parameters, and it intends to give us output variables. It wants to give us a return value. Now, I would look at these. So what do we want to call this? Well, in the one that in the refactor one that I already showed you, I called it count qualifying characters. Now, so I'm going to put that in there. Now, you might think that's a little long-winded, and maybe it is, but it's certainly a good name. And what's it going to pass in? Well, the shifted target, okay, and then vowels. So the string that we're analyzing, and then the string that has the characters to qualify. Okay, that's good. And vowel count. That's what we get back. Yeah, that's what I want. So let's click OK. It says PyCharm has detected 3 code fragments in this file that can be replaced with a call to the extracted method. I don't think I want to do that yet because I'm going to want to change things around a bit. So I'm going to delay this and say no. Okay. So what did it do? It created count qualifying characters, shifted target vowels. Okay. Vowel count equals 0 for character in vowels. Vowel count plus equal shifted target dot count of character. Return vowel count. Well, that's good. The problem is that it's not general enough to use 3 more times. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do another refactoring where we're going to change the names. Okay. So shifted target. Let's call that. What did I call it in my already baked version? I called it string to be analyzed. Okay. So I'm going to highlight this and I'm just going to do a refactor, rename, and I'm going to call it string to be analyzed. And I'm going to click refactor. Okay, so now it's called string to be analyzed, but you'll notice that's also changed the name. Oh no, it hasn't changed the name up here. It's only changed the name here in the call code. Good. Okay, now the other one is called vowels. That's too specific as well. Okay, so let's highlight that, refactor, rename, and I think I called that qualifying characters. I did. Qualifying characters. Okay, and refactor that. And it refactored that in here. Now the only other thing is we're not only counting vowels, okay, we're counting the overall number of characters that qualify. So I called this overall count. Okay, it's not a great name, but that's it. So I'm going to highlight val count, right click, refactor, rename, and let's call this overall count. Overall count. Okay, so now I've got a count qualifying characters that is pretty nice. Okay, I like the way that works. Okay, that's good. Now, do I want to do anything else? Well, here's something else I want to do, and I know this because I'm an old programmer. Is I think that having to remember that you need to shift the string to lowercase before you call it. That's this is what we call coupling, which is uh, shifting the string to lowercase is something that the code in this function requires. It's not going to give you the right answer unless we do that. Okay. Do we really want the code in the main to know about that? No, we don't. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this code and we're going to cut it. And we're going to add it down here. The names aren't going to be right, but we're going to add it here. Okay, so this is string to be analyzed. So let's just do it in place. Let's say string to be analyzed gets the sign string to be analyzed shifted to lower. Okay? And now that all the assumptions about how these things work uh, are inside of count qualifying characters. If we had left the shifting to lowercase outside of this, then that would be what we call coupling, which is the code in main would know about the internal workings of count qualifying characters. Now, we've taken all the assumptions about how count qualifying characters works, and it's all uh, hidden in count qualifying characters. Now, because of that, we have this problem that shifted target is the wrong name up here. So I'm not going to try to fix that with refactoring. I'm just going to do it by hand. Okay. The original name was a target. So we're just going to shift it out of there. So we did it for the first and the second. And oh, you know what? It's not going to work for the other ones. Uh, Hang on. Yeah. Uh, that's interesting. I probably should have done that absolutely last. I'm sorry. Yeah. In fact, I am going to do that absolutely last. So let's come way back. Let's take the shifting out of there altogether. Okay. So the shifting is out of there altogether, and now it's back up here. Okay. There's a certain art to doing these in the right order. Okay. And I did that a little too early. Okay. So now we're still doing the shift in main. Okay. Everything is depending upon the shift having done in main. Okay. And we're calling it with shift to target. That's fine. And we're not doing any shifting in here. Okay. So let's pause and test. Okay. Run parameterized tool. Again, I should have run it before I did it. Okay. I know I know what this said when we did the lecture. 12 vowels, 24 consonants, 8 spaces, 1 punctuation marks, as it says now. Okay, that's good. So we haven't broken it, right? And we've got a nice, really reusable um, thing here, function. Okay, that's good. Okay, so uh, now we have the call to get the count. Okay, and then we print with the count. That's not the program I showed you in the lecture. The program I showed you in the lecture uh, combine these things. Okay, and I'll get there. Okay, I'll get there. More refactorings. All right, now we've got the first one to work. Can I do the second one? Yes, I can. So let's refactor this. Refactor. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to do this through automatic refactoring. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to say constant count equals this equals, and then I'm going to call it. So I'm going to do this by hand. What's this called? Count qualifying characters. Count qualifying characters right here. And I'm going to pass it in shifted target, and I'm going to pass it in consonants, right? And then I've got something going on. Oh, I have an extra blank line. Okay, that's good. All right, so it should count to 24 consonants again. So let's come down here and run this. 24 consonants, that's working. Okay, and then let's do it for spaces. Whoop. Okay, so we're going to say space count equals, and again, let's call this equals count qualifying characters, and we're going to pass it shifted. Okay, and spaces. Okay, and that should work. And I don't know what it's complaining about here. Oh, we need one more line below it. No, we don't. Oh, we've got too many lines above it. Okay, so last test we had 8 spaces. Let's run a test again. Do we still have 8 spaces? Yep, that worked. And now we're going to do the last one. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this. Okay, and we're going to do the same call. Okay, we're going to say equals count qualifying there. We're going to paste it, pass it shifted, and punctuation marks. Okay, that looks like that works. So let's test that. So we've got one punctuation mark. Let's run it. It still works. Okay, are we done? Oh no. Now we're going to deal with this issue of shifting. Okay. And again, here's the problem. Okay. Why should the main know that the approach that we're taking in count qualifying characters depends upon us having shifted the string to be analyzed to lowercase. It shouldn't, okay? So let's take that, okay? Let's take this and let's shift it. So let's say string to be analyzed is going to get string to be analyzed, string to be analyzed, shifted to lower. So call the lower method. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now, let's do this. Okay, the order in which you rename things can often be significant, okay? Now, I want it to be called a target, but right now, the easiest way for me to do this in my old programmer experience is to do the following. Take the value that you want the thing to eventually have, okay, and paste it down here, so that now we have the wrong name and the right value. Okay. Okay, and now refactor this to give it the right name. So highlight it, refactor, rename, and then get rid of shifted. Let's back up over that. And now it's just going to say target. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. And what did the last test say? Well, it said this, 12, 24, 8, and 1. And we saw the thing up there. So let's run it again. And that's it. Okay, so we've done a refactoring. We're still getting the same result. That looks pretty good. Now, I'm just going to give you a peek at the version that I had shown you during the lecture. I combined the call to count qualifying characters with the print. Okay, and some people would say they'd like that, and some people would say they wouldn't. But I'm gonna leave it without that. Okay, that's if we come back here and we look at the current state of what we have, you know, we count, we print, we count, we print. We do that 4 times. Okay, do I need to further combine these? I could. Okay. But I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to stop there. This is pretty well refactored. Now, we've got one more thing here. We need to change this thing. Okay, and again, this isn't an example for refactoring anymore. I'm going to say analyze line of text and count the vowels, consonants, spaces, and punctuation characters per word. Okay, that's what it says. And that's getting a little big, so why don't we do this? Why don't we keep the multi-line string and leave it looking like that? That looks good. All right, so I'm going to test it again because I changed it. Does it look good? Yes, it does. Okay, am I done? Okay. All right, so the question is this, does this meet, the goodness qualities that we want? Is main too long? Yeah, it's getting long, but it's not too long. And if we took out the blank lines that I have here for drama, Um, they're almost half the lines we have. Main would definitely not be too long. Does main do one thing? Yeah, it's the work of the program. So I think that's got cohesion. Um, what about count qualifying characters? This has high cohesion. It's just a kick-ass little programming tool that we created that does exactly what we want, and we've generalized it so that we can use it for vowels and consonants and spaces and punctuation characters. And we could use it for other things as well. So I think this has high uh, cohesion. It's all about one thing. Do we have low coupling? Yeah, the only thing that really challenged that is that the main knew too much about the inner workings of count qualifying characters. It knew that in order to make it work, you had to downshift the characters. And what we did is we took that work and we put it where it belongs, which is in count qualifying characters. So the coupling that we had, we got rid of. And so now I'm really pleased with this. It's not so summarized as the one I showed you in the lecture, but it's still a great program and maybe a little more readable than the other one. And I think I'm done. So I'm going to stop here and say bye until next time. Bye bye.